कुंज विहारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. Srinivasa Govinda, Sri Venkatesa Govinda, Venkatamana Govinda, Srinivasa Govinda. Sai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. युग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। वन्दे श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यनित्यानन्दसहोदितौ गौडोदये पुष्पवन्तौ चित्रौषं दौ तमोनुदौ। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। विना वेङ्कटेशं ननाथो ननाथः सदा वेङ्कटेशं स्मरामि स्मरामि। हरे वेङ्कटेश प्रसीद प्रसीद प्रियं वेङ्कटेश प्रयच्छ प्रयच्छ। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are reciting from the 7th canto, 11th chapter, The Perfect Society, 4 social classes, verse number 15. Vaishyastu varta vriddhihi Vaishyastu varta vriddhi syan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet Vaishyastu varta vritti syan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet Vaishyastu varta vritti syan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet. Any couple of devotees? Vaishyastu varta vrittisyan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet Vaishyastu varta vrittisyan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet Vaishyastu varta vrittisyan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shushrusha Vrittischa Matajis Vaishyastu varta vrittisyan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet Vaishyastu varta vrittisyan Nityam brahma kulanugaha Shudrasya dvija shushrusha Vrittischa swamino bhavet. Vaishyaha, the mercantile community. Tu, indeed. Varta vrittihi, engaged in agriculture, cow protection and trade. Syat, must be. Nityam, always. Brahma kulanugaha, following the directions of the Brahmanas. Shudrasya, of the fourth grade persons, the workers. Dvija shushrusha, the service of the three higher sections. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. Vrittihi, means of livelihood. Cha and Swaminaha, of the master. Bhavet, he must be. Translation: the mercantile community should always follow the directions of the Brahmanas and engage in such occupational duties as agriculture, trade and protection of cows. For the Shudras, the only duty is to accept a master from a higher social order and engage in his service. There is no purport, we will read one more verse. Varta vichitra shalina Yayavarashilonchanam Vipravrittischaturdheyam Shreyasi chottarottara. Varta, the occupation means of livelihood. For the Vaishya, agriculture, cow protection and trade. Vichitra, various types. Shalina, livelihood achieved without effort. Yayavara, going to the field to beg some paddy. Yeah. Shila, picking up the grains left in the field by the proprietor. Unchanam, picking up the grains that have fallen from the bags in the shops. Vipravrittihi, the means of livelihood for the brahmanas. Chaturdha, four different kinds. Iyam, this. Shreyasi, better. Cha, also. Uttara, the latter compared to the former. Which means after the four, Shalina, Yayavara, Shilon, third one is Shilon and Unchanam, Shila and Unchanam. There are four types of vritti for the brahmanas it's mentioned. Shalina means some patron is giving you donation. And Yayavara means you go to the marketplace, go to the field when they are, removing the grains from the husk and they are beating. So when farmers see you, naturally they will give you a few kilos of rice. You can take it from them and go. Naturally they are charitable, they give. And Shila means you pick up grains left in the field by the proprietor, which means after the husk grains are removed from the husk, they put the husk for the cows, correct? Now they keep it stored like that. And the grains are put in a sack and they board the sack in the bullock carts. And the bullock carts go to the marketplace, correct now? At that time, some grains will be left behind. And no one is around, and anybody can pick up those grains. Nobody is going to complain. That is called a shila. And unchana means you go to the marketplace where, like market yard if you see, when they are boarding all the goods into the shop, some grains and the things will be left behind, picking up grains from there. So these are the four types of vritti for the brahmanas. So as you go from the first to second to third to fourth, it becomes more and more austere. For example, if a patron is giving you a good amount of wealth, cows, land, gold, all in charity, you are maintained by a patron, that is considered the lowest. And then higher than that is you go to the paddy field where your farmer, while husking the paddy, he may see you and he may give you some charity, vegetables, grains and everything he may give you. Like we go and do Harinam Sankirtan in market yard. And shop people see that, oh, let's give out some vegetables, fruits and grains and everything. It's like that. The third is, you don't meet any human being at all. No donor, no collector, no interaction with anybody. But you go and pick up whatever grains are left in the field. Like you see in villages, the rats get wheat, rice, many things to eat. But they have no tension, rat life. But the rats in city, they get opulent foods. They may get pulao, kadi, rasamlai, they may get... But there is a lot of tension. So you can choose a life of prosperity with anxiety or simplicity with freedom from anxiety. So you can be like a village rat or a city rat. Your choice is yours. So the third and fourth are like the village rat life, where you don't seek any guidance from any donor. You just go and pick up some grains left in the field, which is available. And fourth is, you don't even go to the farm, which may be far away. You go to the marketplace where it is being sold. There are some grains left there because you are living in that place. So you go and pick up that. That means you make the least effort to earn your livelihood. And that's the fourth one. So these are more and more austere ways of livelihood. You don't, basically the Brahmana should reduce his dependence on others and increase his shelter of Supreme Lord. The more the Brahmana depends on Krishna, he will be spiritually effulgent. He will be very powerfully situated spiritually. The less he is dependent on other people. So his reliance should be on the Lord. That is a standard for a Brahman. Actually, if a Brahmana is uncontrolled in his senses and he has not tamed his mind, his needs will be too much. Huh? He will have to beg from people for more and more facility, amenity, comforts and luxuries, and it's a pathetic Brahmana. Huh? On the other hand, a Brahmana is very disciplined and sense controlled, and his mind is tamed. His needs will be extremely less. Huh? You give him a corner to sleep, he will sleep. Give him one plate of khichdi, he will be ecstatic, he will appreciate you. Huh? He does not have any needs at all. Huh? So the less he is dependent on other humans and more dependent on God. There is one verse also which says that Sadanama yata labete santosh Eita achar kare bhakti dharma posh. This verse says Sadanama such a Brahmana always chants the holy name of the Lord. Labete santosh, yata labete santosh. Whatever Krishna sends, he will be happy like Sudama Brahman, correct, no? Krishna gives me in poverty, that is also good for me. Because in poverty, my devotion service will flourish. Or if Krishna gives me in prosperity, that is also good. I have abundant wealth to use in Krishna's service. So, in whichever position Krishna gives me, that Krishna's plan is the best plan for me. A Brahmana who is convinced like this, yata labhate santosh, is satisfied with whatever comes of its own accord, and always chanting the holy name. Hita acharya kare, one who follows this standard of lifestyle, bhakti dharma posh, bhakti devi will maintain him. He doesn't have to be maintained by anybody. So, that is why these are the 4 levels of Brahmana's vritti, it is explained. Let's read the translation. As an alternative, a Brahmana may also take to the Vaishya's occupational duty of agriculture, cow protection, or trade. He may depend on that which he has received without begging. He may beg in the paddy field every day. He may collect paddy left in the field by its proprietor. Or he may collect food grains left here and there in the shops of grain dealers. These are 4 means of livelihood that may also be adopted by Brahmanas. Among these 4, each of them in succession is better than the one preceding it. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. A Brahmana is sometimes offered land and cows in charity, and thus for his livelihood, he may act in the same way as a Vaishya by cultivating land, giving protection to cows, and trading off his surpluses. A better process, however, is to pick up grains from a field or from a dealer's shop without begging. So, in the previous verse, it says here, Vaishyastu Varta Vritti Syat. It says, the Vaishyas who are doing cow protection, trading and farming, Nityam Brahmakula Anugaha, it is said. Anugaha means follower. Brahmakula Anugaha means the Vaishyas should follow the guidance of the Brahmanas, it is said. Why? See, generally Vaishyas approach Brahmanas and say that, can you give me some business advice? How I can increase my business? Can you do some puja for me? Lakshmi puja or something. So Lakshmi can shower gold coins. Isn't it? Or nowadays, modern day, many business people invite brahmacharis, sadhus. Can you give a seminar on stress management? Because we are so much having competition in society. We are getting stressed. So a Vaishya should not only consult the Brahmana for business advice, but he should also consult about ethical advice. The business that I am doing, is it ethical or not? I have a cigarette company, or I have a liquor company, or I have a, there are many like Venkis and McDonald. They are mass killing of millions of animals. Is this proper business or not? If one consults a Brahmana, he will give up that business and change his business. In those days, one boy brought his father and introduced me to his father, and he said, my father is eager to seek your blessing, he said. I said, let me know your father. And then I asked his name, and I asked him, what is your profession? I asked him. He said, he has a poultry farm, he said. I said, poultry farm? Dangerous? I said, this is, whenever I see the, देकर छोड़ दीजिए. Leave me after giving dekar chhod dijiye. Leave me after giving blessing, he said. I said, see, a sadhu means we have to speak from the scriptures. I'm telling you the truth. I see you as a living entity, a soul wandering in this world. I don't want to see you carrying a baggage of blackish sin on your back. Already we have enough to clear. Why do you want to accumulate more? Everybody has to do a profession to earn some livelihood for food, clothing, shelter. But is this the way you want to earn? This is not proper, I told him. Then almost 1 hour he was talking. Initially he was arguing, and slowly he recognized that what he's doing is not proper. At the end, towards the end, he was about to cry. But he said, you see, I have invested some 30 lakhs in this business. If you want me to get out of this, it will take me 3-4 years to switch over to another business. I said, the moment you make that decision to switch over to another business, your auspicious life has started. Even though coming 3 years, you will still be indulging in sin. The new direction you are going to take, I said, that will lead you to supreme auspiciousness. You chant the holy name, take a copy of Bhagavad Gita. And I told him that wind up. So he wound up the poultry business and started a vegetarian hotel after that. So in this way you will see why when you go to a Brahmana, you should seek not only business advice, how to expand my business, we should seek ethical advice also. And one should not stop with ethical advice, one should seek spiritual advice also. One should ask Brahmana, how can I advance in my spiritual life? Because you see, why is this varnas and ashramas prescribed? You will see that the goal of varnashrama is pleasing Lord Hari. Varnashrama acharavat purushe na parapuman nanyat Vishnu raradita panta nanyat tattosha karanam. Like that, this is one verse. There's another verse also, similar verse. Both these verses say, what is the Samsiddhir verse? How it begins? Dharma svanushtita pumsam vishvaksena kathasayah notpadayet yadiratim shamayev hi kevalam. Very different verse you captured. Atha pumbir dvija sreshtaha varnashrama vibhagashah svanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Correct. So, all these 3 verses talk about varnashrama. They say Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. These 8 orders. The first 4, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra are material, and Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas are spiritual. So the material and spiritual orders are kept. Why? The material orders are for occupation, to earn your livelihood, and the spiritual orders for emancipation, to go back home, back to Godhead. So both have to be properly followed. And why should we follow this? Each of these orders have a very strict and stringent set of rules given in the Vedic literature. If you follow those rules, the society will be free from envy, and they can be devoted to the Vedic culture, Dharma. They can follow Dharma and free from envy for one another. Just to think about a community where people are really caring for each other, they're kind to one another. They celebrate festivals and they invite their neighbors to their home and feed them prasad. And they are willing to take some trouble and sacrifice to help others. So the Vedic society is made in such a way that the society can be peaceful and prosperous. The goal of peace and prosperity is not end in itself. The goal of peace and prosperity is a springboard to ascend to transcendence. That means the society which is peaceful and prosperous is calm in mind. With a calm mind, for you to chant Hare Krishna, study the Vedic literature, worship the deity form of the Lord, and then advance in spiritual life becomes very easy. When your mind, see, imagine you have a good job which pays you salary. And you have very good parents who raised you very nicely, responsibly. They didn't get divorced. They raised you very nicely. And also you get a good wife or a husband who is very caring and protective and kind and helpful. So with all this, ground level facility, then you can focus on Krishna consciousness peacefully. Because our mind has to be peaceful. If mind is in tension, you can't peacefully chant the holy name. So therefore, in the Varnashrama order, you will find For a society to be free from envy and to be aligned with Dharma, these principles are all given. And when anyone follows these principles very carefully, whether you are following alone or a community follows it, you will see that they can experience peace and prosperity. So now it may so happen that somebody may ask you a question, what if I am leading a Vedic life, aligned with Vedic principles, Dharma, but I am poverty stricken? Look at my friend. He's breaking all the norms, he's unethical, and he's making a lot of money. But look at me, I'm following ethical life and moral life, but I am poverty stricken. What Prabhupada says, it's good only that you are poverty stricken. He says, why? Actually, Lord knows what is best for you. By being poverty stricken, you may be very focused in your spiritual duties very well. Sometimes when you are poverty stricken, when you have little money, you don't have too much money, then you don't have too much to worry about saving money or fighting with others or envy. Some people have mediocre jobs, they make little money. Husband, wife, children, the family is going on. They don't have very big savings. But lifelong, they are very wonderful devotees also. Sudama was like that, if you see. And on the other hand, let us tell an example opposite of Sudama. There's a very famous story which is narrated in many of the Puranas, which are often quoted by many speakers, which is Kaushika. This Brahman, Kaushika Brahman, once a king was so pleased with his performance of sacrifices and everything, he became very pleased. So he gave him a lot of land, cows and gold, everything he gave him. So this Brahmana was a good Brahman in the beginning, aligned with the principles and everything. But subsequently, and he started thinking, I have so many cows giving so much milk, why can't I do a milk business? So he started with the milk business. So as he started selling the milk, a lot of money started coming. Then he thought, I have a land also. Why not till the land and produce grains and sell the grains, and I can make more money. He started becoming a richer and richer Brahmana over a period of time. So he started keeping exorbitant profit for milk, and he started keeping exorbitant profit for the grains because he wanted to multiply that money. Once money came, he wanted to multiply that money. So one day a sage came there. He saw the Brahman milking. So the sage said, can I get a glass of milk, please? So the Brahman said, no, I only sell milk. I don't give free. It's like that he spoke to him. So the sage became very angry. He said, you have become too materialistic. Nowadays you have given up your study of Shastra. You have given up brahminical duties. And you have become more of a Vaishya now. You are becoming degraded. And now you have come to such a degraded position that you can't give even one glass of milk in charity. So you are fallen, he said, and he went away. And immediately the following days, the Brahmana's business went down, the land, dried, the cows died. And gradually, for a period of time, all his money started shrinking because of the displeasure he caused to that sage. So in this way, the Brahmana, by the stroke of destiny, by his bad karma, he faced a great misfortune. And at this point of time, he had lost interest in scriptures and alignment with Supreme Lord, and also he had lost the money also. Nagarkana Gatka, he said, he became like that. So compare Sudama with this Kaushika. When you compare both, you will see that, Sudama was very joyfully situated performing his spiritual dharma to Lord Krishna. Whereas Kaushika got derailed from dharma by becoming attached to the land and the wealth and the gold and everything he got, isn't it? And Sudama was favored by the Lord with pure devotion and prosperity also later on. Whereas this Brahmana was awarded prosperity, which was stolen away by destiny, karma, over a period of time. At the end of the pastime, you find Sudama became a pure devotee, whereas this Brahmana neither got material prosperity nor spiritual wealth. He became like asar, good for nothing. You can see that. So, therefore, one should be careful. A Brahmana, Actually, everybody, a Shudra should be loyal, a Vaishya should be ethical, a Kshatriya should be religious, and a Brahmana should be detached and spiritual. Each of them have a certain standard given in the scriptures. If a Shudra is not loyal, he is doing pilferage or stealing. See, what is the difference between stealing and pilferage? Stealing means you loot all the money. Pilferage means you steal little bit. So that time to time you can keep stealing. So if a Shudra is doing that, such a disloyal Shudra will become asar, good for nothing. And a Vaishya should be ethical and moral. If he is not, if he sells cows to slaughterhouse, or if he is keeping exorbitant profits by doing trade, or he is tilling the land but not producing rice, paddy, rice and wheat and other things. Rather, he want to grow tobacco. He becomes very commercial. He has a commercial mindset. Such a Vaishya will become polluted and degraded because of that. Similarly, the Kshatriya should be religious. You should conduct sacrifices, inviting the Brahmanas. You should give charity to Brahmins. You should build the temples for the Lord. And you should also do protection, administration, and welfare for the mass of people. You should protect women, children, old people, cows, and Brahmanas who are teachers of Vedic knowledge. And you should have a strict law and order. You should curb the thieves and rogues who are cheaters in society. And you should create welfare, for example, by digging wells and producing ponds and planting trees, giving not only mundane education but also spiritual education to all the children in the schools and colleges, and also patronizing the sages and saints and helping them to reach the knowledge to the mass of people. So these are the duties of a Kshatriya. He should be ethical and he should be religious and guided by the Brahmins. And Brahmanas, they should be detached. Actually, Brahmana's behavior is exactly like Krishna's behavior. A Brahmana is always cheerful. Like Krishna is cheerful, Brahmana is also cheerful. And Krishna is completely detached. So detached that although he possesses all six opulences, he is driving the chariot of Arjuna and is carrying the sandals of Nanda Baba on his head. He is washing the feet of the sages in the Rajasuya Yajna. Completely detached. A Brahmana should live in a renounced temperament. Always. Renounced temperament means nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna. I am here to guide the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras to utilize all the God-given resources for facilitating the Krishna consciousness of the mass of people. That should be his mode. That's how he guides the Kshatriyas. He will tell Kshatriyas, build temples. Let mass of people come and do kirtan, they let them hear lectures. And also similarly, benefit the society in such a way that the society can turn, samsiddhir haritosham, turn towards the Lord. And you should guide the Vaishyas to be ethical and not do any unethical business, isn't it? Because if Brahmana guides properly, the whole society can be happy. That's why here it says, Vaishyastu varta vrittihi syad nityam brahma kula anugaha. Vaishya should follow the good advice of the Brahmanas, important. Shudrasya dvija shushrusha, it says. Vrittischa swamino bhavet. The Brahmana should be treated as a swami by the Shudra. If very modern people hear this, they will say, hey, you guys are teaching slavery to Shudras. We want, equality in society. We don't want equality in society, we want responsibility in society. Because you will see that all five fingers are also not equal. You will see this finger is challenging finger, this is the smallest finger, the tallest finger, this is a ring finger. Every finger has different attributes like that. Similarly, man and woman, there is a lot of gender equality, people talk, but actually woman becomes pregnant and begets a child. Man cannot become pregnant, isn't it? Man's body is stronger and woman's body is weak. How will you physically make them equal? One girl was asking a question to me in a class that why Swamiji you say that woman should be protected by man, and which means you mean to say man is superior, woman is inferior. Why do you say like that? I asked her, say, if you are married, you go with your husband into a train. Do you lift the luggage and put it on the top, or you tell the husband to put? She said, that's why, that means he's physically stronger. Is it not true? How do you make them equal? Woman's body is relatively more weaker. Hmm? So, physiologically, if you see, there is a difference. Psychologically, if you see, there is difference. Man has a male ego. A woman has insecurity, unhealthy comparison. She looks at other girls and thinks that, hey, why she is being praised and not me? They make unhealthy comparison. And also they have insecurity. Oh, nobody is paying attention to me. She has attention-seeking nature. And man has male ego. He thinks that, my wife should think, I am her protector. I am her controller. I am the Swami at home. She should be submissive to me. And not only wife, in office also he thinks everybody should be submissive to me. Cooperate with me. Hear my opinion. Without my opinion, they should not do things independently. Correct, no? Man has a male ego. They have two different psychological mindsets. Physically, they are different. Psychologically, they are different. And on the platform of soul, no difference. The soul seated in a woman's body, soul seated in a man's body. There is no difference. Both souls are part and parcels of Krishna. So when a woman becomes spiritually advanced, she is as respectable as a male. And there is no difference. Like Kunti Maharani, Prabhupada calls her as the most intelligent woman. So, as spiritually, everybody is equal. Materially, you cannot artificially create equality. Similarly, who are the Shudras? The Shudras are not by caste. The Shudra, by their guna, they cannot think. They are only jo bola so karo. If you tell them to do something, they can do. If you tell them, be independent on your own, earn your livelihood, they will starve because they don't know how to earn the livelihood. So, when the Shudras accept Brahmana as a Swami, the very first thing is their food, clothing, shelter is guaranteed. Because if Brahmana tells you Kshatriya and Vaishya, this Shudra will work with you in the field, or he will become a foot soldier in your army, and provide him for his food, clothing, shelter, immediately they will get. So their basic material needs are taken care. Another thing, a Shudra cannot decide anything of his own. So he needs somebody to confirm what he is thinking. So when he approaches Brahman, says, Brahmana tells the Shudra, see, don't steal. Yeah, I know that your daughter is to be married, but stealing is not a good way. You tell your Vaishya leader that give me some loan, some 5 lakh or 10 lakh, I will get my daughter married and cut that amount for my monthly this thing. That is better for you. That is ethical behavior. So don't be disloyal. Because if you are disloyal, if you steal, you lose the job and you will be put behind the bars. So you cannot get your daughter also married. You will be behind the bars and job is also gone. Shudra will say, sorry, I will be careful. So he needs advice. So he needs guidance because his mind can work erratically and he cannot think properly on his own. So if he is accepting Brahmana as a Swami, then he gets proper guidance, how to be loyal. He gets his food, clothing, shelter, everything is arranged for him. And he can take part in cultural activities. For example, they want to perform yajna. Yeah, Shudra is one who brings the bricks and everything and he will arrange heavy things he can carry. He can make a palanquin or something for the deity to be carried. Heavy weights and all, if he has to lift, he can do that. And he has to bring sacks of rice or wheat for cooking for thousands of people. He can lift that, he can do that. So by assisting in this festival for the Lord, a Shudra is also serving the Lord. And by serving the Lord, he also gets purified. In this way, Shudra accepting the superior class as Swami, he doesn't stand to lose, he only stands to gain. On the other hand, today many of the Shudras are going on strike. When Shudras go on strike, the industries are shut down. Isn't it? You will see that. Similarly, when a Vaishya becomes unethical, the society suffers. Isn't it? Similarly, when a Kshatriya becomes a dictator, the whole mass of people will live in fear. And when a Brahmana becomes irreligious, the whole society's spiritual progress is checked, is stunted because of that. So, everybody has to do that duty well. Vaishyastu varta vritti syat nityam brahma kula anugaha. He says, Shudrasya dvija shishrusha vrittischa swamino bhavet. He should accept as a swami. So, sometimes it is seen, here in the next verse it says, Varta Vichitra Shalina. The Shalina means you have a patron. Uh, like here you see, it says here, livelihood achieved without effort, because there is an assurance to you that there is a person who is a donor you are in touch with, and the donor will give regular donation, monthly donation or yearly donation or whatever. The biggest problem for a Brahmana to have such connections with donors is the Brahmana's behavior will become tainted by false pride. The Brahmana will think that I have a like one devotee was telling, he came to me and told me that, Prabhu, one family wants to go to Mayapur Dham and I want to take them. He said, I said, you don't go alone with the family. You take a group of families and a group of sadhus should go together, like we go on yatras. Why do you want to take one family alone? If it is your own mother, father, brother, sister, it's all right. But other families, why should a brahmachari go alone? He said, that's not a problem. Prabhuji, they will sponsor my flight ticket. Then I became angry. I said, what? You think other brahmacharis cannot get flight tickets? Nowadays, everybody gives flight ticket. The principle is, we should not go alone. You should go with other devotees. Otherwise, you will fall down. Of course, he didn't go. But I sensed some false pride because of his connection to some donor. That means when you have somebody assuring your donations, your mind becomes a slave of those people. That is one reason. Actually, cultivating donors is a very good idea. For even sadhus can do that. But the problem is, once you have some karodapatis in your pocket, then you will think that, oh, I don't have to worry about my future. If something happens to me in future, they will be there to take care of me. So your dependence on Krishna is thwarted. You cannot depend on Krishna anymore. Similarly, you go to some grihastha's home and eat prasad, and it is very opulent. Prasad you eat, your tongue becomes a slave of that prasad. Next year you'll ask, you didn't invite us this time. So there are people who do that. It's a horrible thing it is. Your simplicity is lost. So one should eat very some Prabhupada writes in one purport, it's a duty of the grihasthas to invite sadhus to their home for prasad. And it's not the duty of sadhus to always go and accept such invitations. Like the Prabhupada writes. So, because if you accept 7 days you go and eat in someone's houses, you are a slave of your tongue. Then your jihva vegam will increase by that, isn't it? On the contrary, a sadhu eats a very simple prasad and studies scriptures and he preaches, he will remain pure. He can preserve his purity. So once in a while, occasionally one may go to grihastha's home and accept. So in this way, this Shalina, that's a danger. One can one's mind can become a slave of such people. One story in Mahabharata, Markandeya Rishi speaks this. It's also there in Markandeya Purana also. This is a very, very famous, well-known story, and often spoken in many assemblies of the Raja Harishchandra. So this Raja Harishchandra, he was a Raja Rishi, very good soul, very, very famous for his. He was a Satya Sankalpa, it is said. If he says a word, he will, never give it up. And it's called Dharmatma. He is always follower of Dharma. Very good soul. So one time he was performing a yajna and he had invited Vishwamitra to come and perform the yajna. And after that yajna was over, Harishchandra said, I can give you whatever charity you ask, he told them. But then Vishwamitra had failed in his asceticism to Menaka's beauty, and then he had, due to his lusty attraction for Menaka, he had fallen down, and now he wanted to become a Brahma Rishi now, So he wanted to increase his prowess, ascetic prowess, by performing in a great yajna. And for that yajna, he wanted a lot of facilities, and the king provided. Harishchandra king provided for performing a lot of facilities, because yajna performance requires a lot of wealth also. He provided. And Vishwamitra, instead of being satisfied with the king's support, when the king said, any charity you want, I'll give, he became greedy. He said, okay, you provided me facility for doing yajna, but that's not enough. You see, I am going to become a Brahma Rishi. So I would like to have your entire kingdom, he said. So Harishchandra gave away the entire kingdom. And Vishwamitra said, even this is not enough. And then he prescribed some more amount. And the king was wondering, now that I have given up everything, where will I go for that? So he sold his wife and son, Shaibya. Shaibya was his wife, and his son is Rohit. He gave them as slaves to one wealthy man. So they became slaves in the home, and she was serving like a servant maid. And then he got some wealth from that, which he gave to Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra said, even this is not enough. So now Harishchandra worked under one owner of a shmashan, of a graveyard. And then whatever money, salary he got, that he gave to Vishwamitra like this. So one of the days, in the shmashan, in the graveyard, he was burning different bodies, dead bodies. That's a horrible type of profession that he had to do, although he was a king at one time, like that. So when he was doing, at that time, he saw his wife coming there, along with the dead son, Rohit, to cremate the child. He was shocked. He came to know that his son passed away. At that time, the owner of Harishchandra told, whoever it is, I want money. He was a money maker. So you cannot allow anybody's cremation without taking money. So he told his wife, I can't cremate your son without some money for that. And she had no money at all. She was crying. My son is dead and I'm not able to even cremate also. She was crying. Here is a tug of war he was facing. On one hand, he wanted to follow the dharma of serving his master under whom he is serving. On the other hand, he also has pati dharma towards his patni, towards his wife and son. So at that time, he cried out loudly. He was thinking of committing suicide, that I am not able to even cremate my own son without any money. At that time, immediately all the Indra, Chandra, Varuna, all the devatas appeared there. They told Harishchandra, nobody in this entire creation has faced a test like what you faced now. You have succeeded in the test, and Harishchandra and his whole family, they were all dispatched back home. They were sent to heaven. Of course, when he becomes a devotee, he will go back to Godhead. But the point is, he was a very strict follower of Dharma, it is said. So here, you can see the kings to what extreme they have gone to follow the path of Dharma. This reminds me of the modern time story in the Mewad. You know the region called Mewad in the Rajasthan, correct, no? There was one king called Pratapa. He's not Pratap Rudra. Pratap Rudra is Odisha. This fellow is called Pratap. Maharaj Pratap. Rana Pratap. Yeah. So, at one point of time, Akbar, through trickery and other things, he he conquered the kingdom of Rana Pratap, and he told Rana Pratap that, you see, if you join me, I will keep you under me very well, and I'll give you opulences. I'll give you royal palaces to live, and you just have to be my subordinate, that's all. In fact, you can join my army. You can assist me in conquering other kings and other things like that. So, his ministers, many of them, they went and joined, some of them, they joined Akbar, because they got palaces to live, a very hefty salary and very comfortable life. They thought it's a very good idea. And some of them didn't join. But the king, Rana Pratap himself, he gave up everything and he told Akbar, I'm not ready. Yeah, honorable life of poverty is far superior than a life of prosperity with compromise. That was his understanding. It's better to even give up one's life to be under a king like Akbar and then assist him in working against Dharma. Because if he's going to assist Akbar, in conquering other kingdoms in India, it will be like working against your own dharma. Correct, no? Uh, Instead of that, it's better to live a life of poverty in a village. So he went to a village and he was tilling the land, producing vegetables and fruits and grains. Along with his wife, he was eating very simple food. Uh, that's the kind of life he did. One day, his daughter, just like you make this methi chapati, like that, she had taken very simple things and made and gave. Uh, ghas chapati. Like that, she made a ghas chapati or something, and she was crying. But there is nothing else available now. This is what is available. But he was willing to eat very simple food and live a life of honor. So in this way, you will find the kings who are aware of dharma, they knew when to do what. Later on, he regained the kingdom by good fortune, he eventually king. But the point is, when the destiny strikes you, do you still stick to the path of dharma, or you waver from dharma? That's a very good question. That's why here you find in these verses, Narada is teaching Yudhishthira Maharaj about, who should do what, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, how they should live. So in this way, the Brahmana can accept Shalina, which is livelihood achieved without effort. When you become patronized, you know that who is the writer of Gita Govinda? Famous. Huh? Jayadeva Goswami. There was a Lakshman Singh king. He wanted to have Jayadeva Goswami in his court as a Rajapurohit. Did he accept? No. He said, if I accept that, you will pay me monthly salary and I will become subjected to king's whims and fancies. On the other hand, he was living in a hut. So Lakshman Singh himself would come to meet him sometimes to fall at his feet and seek advice. So the Brahmanas were intelligent. They were not ready to become a slave of money or slave of some materialistic fellow. And which will actually then they will become degraded themselves. Correct? Huh? So that type of Shalina is by patternship. Yayavara means going to the field to beg some paddy. If you go and show up in the field when the Vaishyas are, removing the grains, naturally they will give. But there also, your mind is subtly depending on them, because you're going and showing up there because you know that if I go there, they will give charity. Correct, no? So one thing by going there is they may give charity of a little higher quality. There may be, higher quality grains and vegetables and fruits and everything they may give abundantly. But then after things are all put in the sack, and sent away in the bullock carts, what remains on the ground may be broken rice. It may not be full rice. So it's a little lesser quality. Correct, no? So generally your mind says, oh, better to go to them and accept a superior quality. But that is considered inferior than accepting broken rice. Correct, no? So if a Brahmana is ready to eat broken rice, simple rice, and focus on his spiritual duties, he is considered superior in austerity. Than a Brahmana who extends his arms to beg from them and become dependent on others. Chirani kim patina santi dishanti viksham naivangripa naivangripa saratopa shushyam. What is the second line? Naivangripa parabrata saratopa shushyam ruddha guha givachito vatinopasannan tasmat bhajanti kavayo dana dhurma dandan. This verse says, are there not earthly flats available everywhere to lie down? Why do you have to go and beg somebody for a hut or a living place? Are there not caves which are warm in winter and cool in summer, which are like a house? Why don't you live in the caves? Are there not trees which award fruits arranged by the Supreme Lord, free of cost? Are there not rivers which provide you drinking water as well as bathing water? The rivers are warm in winter and cool in summer. Not like your syntax tank, which is warm in summer and cool. In summer season, that syntax tank becomes so hot. Actually, you want what water? Cool or hot? But it gives you hot water. And in winter it becomes chill. You have seen that? It's a chill water. Because it takes the temperature of the environment. Whereas the rivers, they are warm in winter. And they are cool in summer. Because it's Krishna's arrangement. Just see. That's why I used to say, Krishna's arrangement is like Yashoda. Man's arrangement is like Putna. So, in this way you will find, he says, and then he says, why, there's one more verse. Satyam kshitau kim kashipo prayase bahau swasiddhe upabarghanai kim. He's saying, yeah, he's saying, Satyam jalau kim purdanna patriya digval kaladau sati kim dukulai. Now what he's saying? He's saying, Satyam kshitau. All over the earth, kshiti means the bhumi. Kashipo prayase. Why should you ask for a soft bed? Just lie down. And you will see in India, because of the Vedic literature, people are pretty simple. Like in railway platform once, one train was 8 hours late. So one man, one farmer, along with his family, almost 15, 16 members, they had just put a cloth in the platform and they were sitting, they ate their lunch and everything, they relaxed also. And when the train came, after 8 hours late, they were so happy. I asked that man, are you not angry with the train? It is so late. He said, at last train came. No, they didn't cancel it. He's so happy. Because people don't mind. In train also, now, recently I went to Paramaj Lokanath Maharaja's, 50th sannyas year, no? I had boarded the train from Hyderabad. And on the way, when I was going, I came to know, because I was supposed to return to Govardhanaka village by a flight from Delhi, so that I can join the 7th program. But then some 1,000 flights were cancelled. So I was on the way, Antadipu called and told me, Prabhu, if you go to Delhi, it will be difficult to come back from there. So on the way, suddenly we changed our program and went to Bhopal. So on the way, we got down at Bhopal at late night, 11 o'clock. And next day, no, my ticket is not reserved. So I took an unreserved ticket. We took a general ticket, and there were 2 more brahmacharis from there who were having a proper ticket. So they were asking me, Prabhuji, if you want to go in our ticket, you can go and we will change our trip. I said, no, I can't go in your ticket. It's not proper, no? Can you go in others' ticket? It's not allowed. Yeah. TT will catch you. Some people say, Prabhuji, everybody is shaven headed, we look the same only. I cannot go, I said. So anyway, they also came, those 2 came and we 2 came also. My Lord, all the flight people boarded the trains. Oh, everywhere you turn around, people are lying here, lying there. But Indians are so understanding. In the morning when you have to go to bathroom, people actually move aside. They allow you to cross their body and go also. And sometimes you you stand on the seats. Like this you go, correct, no? All gymnastics you have to do. But I have never seen anybody complaining. Correct, now. Basically, Indians' understanding is, see, we have to reach from one point to another. Little discomfort, adjust. And go on. This tolerance actually comes from the Vedic literature. This type of tolerance people learn actually. Because ultimately, everybody has anxiety to return home. So everybody knows flights are cancelled. So adjust and go. So here he is saying like that, earthly flats are available, you have gufa is available, water is available, trees are giving you fruits. Kasmat bhajante kavayo dhanadhurma dandan. Those people who are infatuated with false pride due to their hard-earned wealth, why should a saint become a slave of those fellows? Like that he's asking. Depend on the Lord, don't depend on other fellows, like that he's saying. So, because a Brahmana or a sannyasi, so these kind of people are supposed to guide the society. They cannot be materially dependent on anyone. They have to be only spiritually dependent on the Lord. So that spiritual dependence will take care of yoga kshema mahamyaham. As Krishna says, I'll provide you what you lack and I preserve what you have. And they have full faith in that. Either prosperity or poverty, they don't see any difference between the two. Accepting everything as Krishna's will, they go on with their devotional duties. So in this way, there is one verse, Tejo viprasya vardate, there is one verse. The Bhagavatam, if you check, Tejo Viprasi Vartade, that verse says that those Brahmanas who are satisfied Brahmanas, by whatever comes of its own accord, that satisfaction increases their spiritual prowess, it says. And those Brahmanas who are not satisfied, they are hankering for more opulent food, or more wealth, or more comforts, more luxuries, more honor, more prestige, or more this kind of thing. Those who hanker, then the Brahmana's tapas becomes diminished. And then it's exactly like water kept in a cracked pot leaks away. Then the Brahmana's spiritual prowess is reduced. He becomes a Brahmana with Gramya Buddhi, with materialistic mindset. So the Brahmana's wealth is very subtle. It's very, very, the spiritual Shakti and the Tapavalam, these are very, very fine things, fine commodities. For us to be able to hold them, then these standards are given. Because, like for example, I'm speaking today, my speech is not in my hands. Many times, many things that we speak, we will speak up based on what values we have cherished, what character with which we have lived our life, and what we think is important, what we think is not so important. So we are actually conducted by the Guru Parampara when we sit in the Vyasasana and we speak. So if a Brahmana has to give proper knowledge to the people, that is not done by skill alone. If you cultivate the skill of art of speaking effectively to the people, but you don't cultivate these type of qualities, it will be like a gun without bullet. It won't have any effect. But for anything to take effect on the audience and produce a change of heart, so that is why these disciplines are given, how Vaishya should be, how Shudra should be, how Brahmana should be. Sri Prabhupada ki. I can take one or two questions till 9:30. Give the mic. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful class. Prabhuji, just one verse before, in 14th verse, in Purport, Prabhupada writes that a Brahmana should not engage in service of anyone else, or at once he falls down from his position and he becomes a Shudra. But majorly we see that many people who are Brahman initiated, they are in big IT companies working. So how can we look into it?
So that is why His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, he has talked a lot about this. What he says in ISKCON, if somebody has studied the scriptures well, so you have that knowledge of the Vedic literature, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. So then you have to find out how you can simplify your needs, and then you can simplify your profession. For example, a Grihastha man, he has two options. He can go to a school and teach value education. And he will get about, 30,000, 40,000. Nowadays, many schools are paying in par with other subjects. They are paying. So, if husband and wife both are working in a school teaching value education, like right now we have a job, if any of you want, we have Raghavendra Prabhu in two places. One is in Ahilyanagar, another one is in Baramati. So they are looking for 2-3 couples, grihasthas, who can teach value education. Right in the beginning, they are ready to give 30,000-35,000. And if they teach well to all the students, they are ready to pay up to 50 also, eventually. 50,000. See, if husband wife is earning 50,000, two of them, it comes to 1 lakh. What do you think? 1 lakh per month is all right or not enough? But some people think it's not prestigious to teach value education. Yeah, then they think. See, the advantage of value education is you are allowed to give some brahminical, advice to the children. Correct, no? You can give them Krishna consciousness. It's a direct Krishna consciousness. Just like brahmacharis are studying and preaching, a grihastha can also study Shastra. Nowadays, because of a good Prime Minister, we have this IKS everywhere. Indian Knowledge System. Many colleges are begging for teachers now. In America also, recently one boy told me, many of the IT fellows are laid off from jobs and sent back to India. But even American colleges want teachers. For all subjects they want, even for value education also they want teachers. In America, a teacher may get something like, $4,000 to $5,000 per month. But if you're an IT company, you may earn $10,000, $20,000. You may earn. But if somebody is happy with $5,000 from how much is money in Indian money? $5,000? 8 no. Huh? 4.5 lakh per month. You get correct now. Isn't it? Is it enough or not enough? Yeah. But you ask many people in America, are you ready to take up teaching? Because if you take up teaching, then America will give you H1B visa. You can stay also. But people say, what is this, Prabhuji? I can draw $15,000 or $12,000, only 5,000. So many of them don't want to take up teaching. So I'm just giving an example. So there are many brahminical professions. For example, devotees can learn yoga. You go to Govardhanaka village, 28 days, become a yoga teacher. Then morning, evening you can teach yoga. Daytime you are free. There are people who are doing that. Similarly, there are devotees who learn astrology. Correct, no? One of our boys from SRM college, his name is Bhavajitya. So he has become a big astrologer, world famous astrologer now. And because he started getting a lot of following, he started Bhagavatam class daily. He started. Now his Bhagavatam classes have become so popular. His one class, 200, 300 people are attending. And now he in YouTube channel, he has more than 1 lakh followers now. Recently reached 1 lakh. So he and his wife, they met me in Yatra. He came and told, Prabhuji, I just recently crossed 1 lakh, was selling followers. So he is now doing astrology as his main thing. So somebody can go in the direction of astrology like that. Or one can start a tuition center, for example. And then in tuition center, you can keep a few teachers. Only thing is the teachers should read Bhagavatam together at least 3 hours in a week. Otherwise, they'll become greedy. Because in tuition profession, a lot of money is there. People sometimes earn 2 lakhs per month, 3 lakh per month and all. So if they are not regularly in touch with Bhagavatam, they will fight with one another and they will close down the center. So therefore, devotee, if one keeps oneself spiritual, I have one devotee whom I admire very much. His name is NKD community in Delhi, Nitya Krishna Prabhu. He has a Gauranga Gurukul. There are like 150, 200 children, I think there. And this Prabhu was a chartered accountant. At the age of 32 or 33, he thought, what am I doing? Being a chartered accountant, working for other companies, he gave up his profession. So he and his wife decided that, we are going to develop a community. So they connected to Gurugram temple. Now they have a community of 200 devotees. Daily morning, he has Srimad Bhagavatam. He gives classes and all 200 people join online. How I got in touch with him, once he wrote a mail to me saying that, Roja, I'm regularly hearing your lectures. I'm taking many of the things. I wanted to express my gratitude to you. That's how he wrote to me. And he invited me to his community. I went there to Delhi. So many questions he asked from my different lectures, I answered. Now I visited 2-3 times, I visited now. So daily morning he has class, and the children also go out on book distribution. I gave a class for his children. They were designing their own books now. And lot of homemade items they're making, like pickles and papad and everything Matajis make. And that also they sell in their this thing. Along with the schools, if any of you want to go and see, you can go to Gurugram and Nitya Krishna Prabhu. I can give you the number. You can go and visit. You can see them. In fact, I have a video link of his activities. It's available. I can make it available to Revati Prabhu. You can take it from him if you are interested to know more about their community and what all they are doing. You will be amazed. They are doing a lot of good things. And absolutely no dependence on society. He want to make a community of devotees which is totally independent. Many of his IT boys have given up the IT jobs and they have joined here. Joined his community, and they're doing many simple different type of activities. So you can, if you are really have brahminical in nature, your needs will be more or less. So if somebody is taking Brahman Diksha in ISKCON, you did Harinam Diksha, you took Brahman Diksha, now you have a husband, wife and child. Lesser your needs, then the less you will be dependent on such fellows who are high payers. Correct, no? You can keep yourself very simple. Yeah. See, for example, for covering your body, what do you need? Clothes. But you want branded clothes? Costly. For commuting from one place to another, you need a car, Maruti car. How much it is nowadays? 4 to 5 lakhs. But if you want a branded car or a costly car, bigger car, They need more money, correct? No? Yeah. There are people who can live in 1 BHK, 2 BHK also. Correct? No? Then there are people who need a 3 BHK or independent bungalow or row house, things like that. So the lesser you make your material needs, and then easily you can earn that money. So that's my understanding. At the same time, we should not criticize those devotees who are working in IT companies or those who are doing business and making money, because they may be externally working like IT engineers. You have to see their consciousness. Their consciousness is rooted in Krishna consciousness. Like King Pratap Rudra, he is holding a big position as a king, but his heart is, he's saying Dasarana Das. Brityara Brityakori Eyumora Ash. His conscience is Tranada Pishanichana. That we should see. Because in Vaishnava philosophy, the soul's dharma we talk about, not the bodily dharma. So we are aloof from the body, like a lotus untouched by mud. There are, like Jayadev Prabhu, for example, he has 3 industries. But can anybody say he's an industrialist? He's such a first-class Vaishnava devotee. Similarly, Dwarkadish Prabhu, Vishwarup Prabhu, they are doctors. They have a medical profession. But do you see them more as a Vaishnava or more as a doctor?
Vaishnava.
Yeah, so that's what we should see. In Vaishnava Dharma, we should know that by dint of their providence, they are put in a certain profession. But their heart is not in the profession. Their heart is in Krishna's lotus feet. When we see like that, then we will not commit offenses. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, if anybody thinks our Murari Gupta is a doctor, a material doctor, he is an offender, he said. You should not see him as a doctor, you should see him as Hanuman. You see him as a pure devotee, correct, na? It makes sense?
Sometimes we think that instead of reducing our needs and everything and living a simple life, we should continue the IT job and earn more money and utilize that money in the service of Krishna. Because
that is also good, if you can do that. If you can do that. It shouldn't happen that you earn more money and forget to give Krishna. That shouldn't happen. Like many boys say that, Prabhuji, can I go abroad and earn a lot of money and give? I said, going abroad earning is good, don't forget to give to Krishna, correct? Huh? Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Yes, you give it to him. Behind, yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that these four varnas are based on guna and karma. But in Mahabharata, we see that, Vidura, he was brahminical by nature. Then Karna, he was Kshatriya by his nature. But they were again identified by their birth, even though Krishna was present. So, how to...
Actually, you will see that when Nahusha was a snake, and while speaking to Yudhishthir says that in the dawn of creation, a Brahmana who is born in a Brahmana family, a child is considered a Brahmana. And somebody is born to a Kshatriya is considered Kshatriya. At that time, the lines were pure. There was no intercaste marriage. But later on, intercaste marriages started. A Brahmana, may marry a Kshatrani. Like Ardhamani married Devavati, like that. Or sometimes a Kshatriya may marry a Brahmani, which is Pratiloma marriage. Like Ayati marrying Devyani, like that. Once this mixture came, it became difficult to ascertain who is Brahmana, who is a Kshatriya. Yes, Chaya Lakshanam Proktam, like that there's a verse. Pumso Varna Abhivanjakam, Tadatrapi Nidishesha. It says, Narada is saying that. He says that one should see the qualities, guna and karma. So let us say Vidura, for example. Vidura is born to a dasi, but the semen, the seed is from Vedavyas. So naturally he is very potent, very powerful. He is intellectually awakened, spiritually awakened, he is a pure devotee. So he is able to be an advisor to king. Dhritarashtra. Vidura Niti is very, very famous. He is able to give political advice, able to give spiritual advice. He is very capable. And he was allowed to render that service. Because he was Brahminical in nature. So although he is born of Dasi, he was not told that you are a Dasi Putra, you cannot be advisor. Was he told? He was given that. He was allowed that role. And he played that role. As regards to Karna, although he was born of Kshatriya, he was thought of to be, that charioteer's son. What is his name? Radheshyam? So he was considered as a charioteer's son, which means a Shudra. So that is the reason he was not given that status. But his Kshatriyahood was revealed much later, towards the end. So, in case, okay, one may question that, okay, even if he's born of a charioteer's son, if he is exhibiting the prowess of a Kshatriya, why he was not given? There is a reason given in Mahabharata. Why Kripacharya spoke about his caste? There is a reason. He saw that Arjuna is very chivalrous and Karna is even more chivalrous. If these two people fight, it will be like the fight between two elephants. They will kill one another. So keeping that in mind, he asked Karna, see, fight can only be amongst royals. Which royal clan are you coming from? He asked him. And then he put his head down, correct now? And then I am son of a charioteer. He said, so then you cannot fight with Arjuna. So his whole idea of using this was to stop the fight between two great heroes. And then Duryodhana took advantage of that occasion. And then he made him Angadeshka Raja. But then it was twilight, evening time. Even after he was coronated as a king of Angadesh, still, although he was very poised to fight with Arjuna, Kripacharya said, now the time is up now. We are winding up, we should not fight. He didn't want that fight between two big people, he said. And with respect to Draupadi, people ask why Draupadi said, I cannot give a chance to Karna to show his talent in accepting her in Swayamvar time. That is her choice. Correct, no? A girl is allowed to have her choice in selecting a husband. That is why it's called what var? Yeah, Swayam means she should have the choice. Correct, no? She can say that somebody can participate or not participate. It is whose marriage? Her marriage. It's not your marriage, our marriage. Her marriage. So she has that freedom to choose, isn't it? One question that side, you can ask it.
Prabhuji, generally we are going to different college, taking program of professional ethics, that course based on Indian knowledge system. So we are giving the right example, we are also comparing with the wrong examples. But one student asked me that nowadays in surrounding industries and corporates, wrong practices going on to excel in the materialistic scenario, to earn money or to earn post position. So it is very difficult to follow the right example. So I answered that we have to set a great example, good example by Yadidati Sreshta to change the society scenario. So what should be our, because maximum wrong practices are going on. So what should be the right way to inspire them?
See, although wrong practices are going on, as avoid, I'll tell you how. 3-4 examples I'll tell you. Say in a college, for example, everybody is copying. Many students are copying. So I tell our students, you should not copy. But Oji, if we don't copy, we will be left behind. Others will get jobs. I said, do you believe in Krishna's protection or your own skill, your own ability? So one boy actually couldn't get job till about March or April. And in April he got a big job, he got. So I told him, see, because you faithfully followed Dharma, Krishna gave you a job. Good job he gave you. Now it may be that, like Prabhupada says, when there is acid rain outside, if you have to go outside, you have to carry an umbrella with you. Correct, no? The umbrella is like the Dharma principle. You should uphold Dharma, although everywhere there will be adharma, all around you. It's possible. You can see how Harishchandra was holding Dharma to the extreme. Now, I don't think our situation is so bad. Why some of our people are feeling bad in the company? They are seeing that others are looting money like anything. Correct, no? Like for example, somebody is showing some fake bills and they make a lot of money. So when a devotee sees, Prabhuji, he is making so much money. So if devotee, first of all, should ensure that they are not envious and greedy. Correct, no? If they practice devotional service very strictly, they will not take advantage of the company's lack of policies for looting the company and making more money. You understand what I am saying? Because they are comparing their situation with others. I always tell the devotees, never compare with karmis. Because karmis don't have morning sadhana, you have morning sadhana. And the karmis have no morals, they are heading towards hell. You are heading towards Goloka, Bulaka to Goloka. So we cannot compare, devotee's life should not be compared with karmi's life. So devotee should know that I have to keep my life simple. If I have to become a very serious, nice practicing devotee. So many a times in the company, the immoral practices that they are talking about. Like for example, one lady was asking, Swamiji, why is it said that a woman should be chaste? Is it not duty of husband also to be chaste? If my husband is unchaste, can I also be unchaste? She asked. See, he is having affair with another woman, so I am thinking, I also have many other men I like. Can I also do? She asked. I said, no, see, Lord Rama followed what vrata he followed? Ekapati he followed. So as much as wife has to be chaste, husband should be loyal to his wife. If he is not loyal to his wife, the whole family will become torn to pieces. So just because others are not following, if you also imagine, your wife says, husband is not chaste to me, so he is having an affair with one woman, so I will have an affair with another man, then they will eventually end up in divorce. Correct, no? On the other hand, if a wife knows that he is going to another woman, she can try to inspire the husband by bringing him to ISKCON, to some senior leader. And within a couple of months, you will see a big change in the husband. If she is a serious devotee, she is following strictly principles of Dharma. And then she will be able to, by her chastity, she will bring the husband to right path. Correct, no? Similarly, a devotee working in a company, although he cannot affect the company on a large scale, he can certainly affect a circle of people around him and following what is Dharma and what is, So there are many unethical practices going. Like you see this Indigo, 2 years before it was told to them that, you are keeping too many hours of work. Only 6 hours pilots are getting rest. They have to get 8 hours of rest because Ahmedabad, you know what crash happened, correct now? So therefore, they were told that, and in the same manner, you cannot run 3 shifts, only 2 shifts you can run. Some flights have to be reduced. And even if people's travel is reduced a little bit, let people go by train or whatever. We don't want more plane. See, many of us think plane crashes are rare. How many of you think generally like that? Yeah. But you should go to Google search and put how many planes have crashed. You will be shocked. Here and there you hear the news. 1 year here, 1 year there. Air France company, 3 planes crashed in the same month. We heard 2 years before. So we don't know. If you put a Google search, go to ChatGPT and ask how many planes have been crashed in the last 4 or 5 years, you'll be shocked to know that. So therefore, they made a policy 2 years before, and in the 2 years there was no change made. Now it has come to that point where the government said, now you have to. Yeah, you have to do it at any cost. And they were very upset because a lot of money is involved. If you have to cut down, many of the travel trips, if you have to cut down, working hours of your employees, naturally what will be affected? Profit. So the living entities are not ready to reduce the profit. You see, there is they thought that we are indispensable. I'm not saying about only one company, any company for that matter. If they think that we are indispensable, we should be allowed to go on with what we are doing. So then these are practical problems, you see. So because in our country, Dharma is very strongly prevailing now by the top leader, the Prime Minister. Prime Minister said he was a monk at one time, before becoming a political leader. Same way with Uttar Pradesh also. He's still in monk's dress only, yes. So people who are least concerned about their selfish desires, people who are always living for the welfare of others, they can actually put their foot down and say that this is how things should be done. They get the adhikar to do it by themselves strictly adhering to it, isn't it? Similarly, devotees, if you live by principles of character, purity, morality, simplicity, you will get the strength to teach others also. It's all right. See, whenever I give class, when I go a little late, 9 o'clock you all have freedom to leave. And I will not ask you why you are leaving. Generally, class is supposed to end at 9 or 9:05. 9:10. After 9:10, you are a free bird. Because I know some of you may have a stomach issue and all. You won't take prasad, you can always leave. But I am spending a little extra time because many times I'm traveling a lot. 3-4 classes were cancelled. Many times. I put the class in my calendar, but then I'm traveling sometimes. So I'm a little bit extending. One last question from Mataji's side we will take. And then we'll conclude. Yeah. If anybody is too hungry, you can carry on. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for a wonderful and insightful class. Please accept my humble obeisances as your aspiring servant. Prabhuji, my question is, a Brahmana, Krishna says to Arjun in Bhagavad Gita, act as per your guna and
Guna,
don't be a
correct.
pretender.
Correct.
So a person who is Brahmana by birth, karma and guna, how can his guna change to lower class? Just like
How is guna?
how his gunas can change to lower, just like in case of Kaushik Muni.
That's a good question. If you read the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna tells Uddhava, Swabhava Vijayam Shauryam, he says, which means conquering our lower nature is real heroism, he says. Which means, although we are born with certain type of guna and karma, but that guna karma can be spoiled by bad association. It is possible. It can degrade by bad association. That's why, like Kshatriya has two sides. Like he says, Shauryam tejo dirdakshyam yuddhe chapi palayanam dhanam ishvara bhavascha kshatra karma svabhavajam, he says. He says that Shauryam, heroism, tejo, influence, dhriti, determination, dakshyam, expertise, yuddhe chapi palayanam, daring nature, never turning away, dhanam, charity, generous behavior, ishvara bhavam, leadership. These are the good qualities of a kshatriya, he says. Then there are other bad qualities of kshatriya. What is it? It is said that vidyam vivadaya, dhanam madaya, shakti paresham paripidanaya, it is said. So Brahmana can become degraded by vivada, which means vitandavad, useless argumentation or speculation. Vaishya can become spoiled by dhanam madaya, by becoming proud of his wealth. And Kshatriya can become degraded by Shakti, Paresham, Paripidanaya, by unnecessarily torturing the people by taxing them too much, or molesting women because he is a king, or drinking, becoming a drunkard, and getting bad character. Kshatriya can become degraded. And there are examples of degraded Kshatriyas like Kamsa, or Hiranyakashipu, or Duryodhana, and people like that, correct, no? So they were born in a good family, but then eventually they can become degraded over a period of time by misuse of their power or bad association. Even all of us, like we all are trying to become devotees, we have to always be careful to stay in touch with seriously and sincerely practicing devotees. Sometimes you're a little careless in your association, just see what happens to your consciousness. You will see that. It can easily become colored, degraded by bad company. So one has to be very alert. Look at Bharat Maharaj, what an amazing devotee he was. Such a detachment he had. That's one verse which says, Yodus Tyajan Satan Suradrajyam Hridis Prishaha Jahau Yivai Vamalavat Uttamashlo Kalalasaha. It is said, he gave up all things dear to heart of anybody, like kingdom and wife and children and wealth and elephants and horses, everything. But in forest he became attracted to deer. So from where he became degraded. So we can also, there's a possibility of us degrading, or we can become elevated by good association, like Ajamila as a debauchee. He became associated with Vishnu Dutas and he became elevated and then ultimately went back home, back to Godhead. Both can happen. Degradation can happen, upliftment can happen, purification can happen. It all depends on our association that we design, association that we choose. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki. Personally, I'll answer. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.